Prime Minister Christie says tear down this house as urban renewal ramps up. You won't believe who the FNM is courting now. And dramatic pictures from Abaco as a tornado is spotted. The Bahamas Tonight starts now.
Covering the islands of the Bahamas, ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight.
This portion of the news is brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
Good evening and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. I'm Keishel Adderley. Thanks for joining us. Topping the news tonight, action on the Urban Renewal program today. Just the second day into Urban Renewal 2.0, Prime Minister Perry Christie was present as work began in the community of Centerville. He led government officials in the area today, beginning the physical work hoped to bring a change in thinking, which will ultimately impact crime and other social ills. Our Altaviz Munnings was there.
Two homes that were reportedly a source of criminal activity on Peach Street off Montrose Avenue in New Providence were demolished Tuesday afternoon. It's all a part of Urban Renewal 2.0 that was relaunched on Monday. It's a promise fulfilled by the Progressive Liberal Party government to stamp out crime at all costs, even if it means dilapidated buildings and derelict vehicles gone. The homes are located in the Centerville constituency, and as Member of Parliament, Prime Minister Perry Christie, who also grew up in this part of Nassau, was all glad to see it demolished.
The experience of the outdoor toilets that were here will be no more. A new home will come here, new people will come into this home, and those children will be able to go to the school next door, be able to become a part of a live neighborhood. Senior police officers here performing this, causing this to take place. Effectively, they're able to move in the community, look at things where people can store weapons and places like this, come here and get the weapons, go rob people and put them back in there. They're going to move all of this from these communities.
Urban Renewal 2.0 is an interministerial effort by the Christie administration where concentration will not only be made in New Providence, as teams have already been deployed to the Family Islands to start the process there.
What we see now as we move into the neighborhoods and things become better, improvements and, knocking down dilapidated buildings and removing derelict vehicles, it becomes very important to the development of the neighborhood, as well as involving the community again in improving, their circumstances.
Assessments will be made of homes that require repairs, and we will effect repairs to those persons who need it.
And so what the Ministry of Environment and Housing will be doing immediately is entering dialogue with the lot owners for this particular facility and begin the process of designing, advancing plans through the Ministry of Works to be approved so that we could begin the construction of new homes on this lot.
There were many residents witnessing Monday's demolition, and all of them we spoke with were pleased to see the change in their area.
This is the best thing ever happened to us in this Bahamian society. They started good work, and I know they'll continue doing their best.
We need a little bit more. We need more work inside the area, where we could have a community center for a bunch of young people in the area. We have a lot of young people, so having a community center will be good, so they won't be so idle.
This is a pleasure. We've been out there for a long time.
Now when the children them fight and throw the rocks, I am glad since they're putting the urban renewal over there, they won't be chasing down to this corner anymore because we'll have protection. I can sit outside and not worry about rock crossing my head or anything like that.
Well, former National Security Minister Tommy Turnquest says he hopes the government trains officers for its urban renewal program before they're deployed. Commenting on the issue at a Free National Movement press conference this afternoon, Mr. Turnquest pointed out that there are some 2,900 career officers and about 8 police divisions in New Providence alone that need manpower.
We took great pains to make sure that those persons who were qualified to be police officers went through the full 6-month training, and then they were on probation for a further 6 months. So they had 1 year training before they were called full constables of the police force. And I hope that we don't revert to just putting anyone and calling them police officers.
Well, Mr. Turnquest also responded to the government's claims that some 25 individuals under the Witness Protection Program were reportedly murdered under the former Free National Movement government administration. The former National Security Minister explained why the program was bolstered and not canceled.
In fact, not only did we have a witness protection program, we also had a witness care program, which enabled witnesses to also be told of cases that were coming up. And in terms of our legislation, in terms of the Witness Anonymity Act, which also assisted witnesses. So first of all, his claim is baseless, and I would expect the Commissioner of Police to respond to that, because the Commissioner of Police has a special fund that only he can access in protecting witnesses.
BEC workers demonstrated today after one of their union presidents was sent home for 4 days without pay. Employees assembled at the entrance to BEC's corporate office on Tucker and Blue Hill Roads this afternoon to protest what they claim is the unfair suspension of President of the Bahamas Electrical Utility Managerial Union, Irvin Dean. Vice President Clinton Minnis says Dean was sent home without pay after he defended a recently terminated employee.
After the corporation refused to respond to the president officially, the president responded and asked that the corporation justify its position, and the corporation refused even to respond again. What do we do? Once we would have followed due process, it is time to act. So in the pursuit of trying to get the corporation to respond to the termination of an employee who's been here for over 34 years, the corporation decided that they're going to suspend our president.
Now, Minnis said management had until 4:30 this afternoon to reverse its decision or face industrial consequences. The managers' union has also garnered the support of the line staff union, the Bahamas Electrical Workers Union, led by Stefano Green.
The corporation decided today to suspend the president of the managers' union without due cause and, in our humble opinion, wrongfully. We are here to show 1,000% support for our managers' union and for our brother president, Mr. Irvin Dean, who was suspended for supporting and defending the rights of his workers, his members. We want to let the government know and the corporation know that if due process isn't followed, then due process will never be followed, and it has to start today.
Now, BEC says it doesn't comment on human resource matters and encourages the union to employ all legitimate and legal resources available to it. Even though at times it may disagree, BEC says it encourages the union not to take any action that would harm BEC consumers and, by extension, the country. BEC added that it is committed to working with the union on all matters. Staff at the Princess Margaret Hospital have expressed concern about their safety after a prisoner overpowered a police officer and shot him with his own gun on the weekend. In light of the past incident, Clint Watson tonight talks with the hospital's chief administrator about safety and security.
It's perhaps a good place to start following the weekend fiasco at the Princess Margaret Hospital. New protocols regarding security are coming out.
We want everyone to be safe, to feel safe, and we understand that our society has changed. As a result, our response as a hospital is going to have to change, and we're going to work together to see what that ends up looking like that works for us, so that we don't lose the personal touch while providing care to our patients.
Changes have been almost instant. There is now 24-hour police presence in the emergency room. Chief Hospital Administrator Coralie Adderley says meetings to strengthen communications between the police, private security, and PMH's security are ongoing.
When we designed the renovations to the emergency room, it was based on an expanded entry to allow for improved security checkpoint and to also have a place for the police to be and to also hold persons that may need to be held. So that is already in place. Now is to make sure that we have the presence and we properly operationalize what they do, what our private security firm does.
And with a changing society, the reality is the staff at PMH is confronted with outbursts from patients and relatives that sometimes get physical more often than they would like. But Adderley says staff has been trained to handle those aggressive persons while keeping their own calm.
But there are times when, even with that training or the best of training, you need support. And that support sometimes is from law enforcement, or it may be from a security officer. And so it's ongoing. We have specific physicians who have become very good at training, and they will do ongoing training for all staff because it's not a one-off thing. So that's one of the ways we've been helping them to cope.
As to whether PMH is safe, the hospital administrator responded this way.
We continue to work on it. We continue to work on it. Our campus is very big. We have a lot of access points. It's compounded with the construction that's going on, that we have more people entering through certain entrances. So we have room for improvement, and we're working on it.
Adderley says what PMH is facing is not unique to an urban hospital, so they're evaluating what other international facilities have done to ensure everyone's safety. Adderley, however, says while service is a priority 24/7, they remain firm in this stance.
We will not support or tolerate verbal and physical abuse of any kind to our staff, to the patients, or to relatives. And we will work with the law enforcement to make sure that people understand that, because it's very difficult for professionals to provide care in an environment where they don't feel safe, where they're being verbally abused.
This weekend's incident has raised an even bigger question, and that is, should there be a separate facility to treat those who are accused of crimes versus those who are receiving regular medical care? It's an issue that now has to be discussed at an even higher level. Clint Watson, ZNS News.
The Royal Bahamas Police Force has revised its policing policy for both major hospitals after the shooting at PMH. Shanique Miller tells us that the goal is to ensure that police are on top of any issues which may arise and keep those medical institutions safe.
Even as Constable Herman Pinder fights to recover from critical injuries from Saturday's attack and shooting by 25-year-old Reginald Chase, a man in his custody, he's being applauded for following the procedures of the Royal Bahamas Police Force. Police Commissioner Ellison Greenslade says he's proud of what the CCTV cameras showed.
The officer that was shot at the hospital followed all of the right procedures. And this is the first time now you're going to get it. I'm the commissioner, I'm telling you. I've had a personal look. He had that young man handcuffed behind his back properly as per procedures, and he was professional at every turn.
Today, the Police Staff Association came together to address the issue of police shootings. Chairman Sergeant Darrell Ware said the security of its members is important.
As long as we adhere to these policies, there's no doubt we'll be able to do our job in a safe way. That'll be beneficial to the police officer and the prisoner, whoever it may be.
The constable who works out of the Carmichael police station was attacked and shot while at the Princess Margaret Hospital Saturday morning after he loosed the handcuff of 25-year-old Reginald Chase to allow him to use the restroom. Chase not only shot Pinder, but he also escaped with his gun.
It's unfortunate, very unfortunate, that he was allowed to be at the hospital alone at that hour of the morning with a person of the reputation of the young man that he had in his custody.
Moving forward, the Royal Bahamas Police Force will shore up its security here at Princess Margaret Hospital and Doctors Hospital so that no police officer ever finds himself at a disadvantage again.
We've already changed the policy, and what I will document now is the fact that the rotation that we have put at hospital remains. 2 armed, properly trained police officers per shift at any of the hospital, so that if an officer even comes alone but a person properly cuffed, you now have 3 police officers having notice of that person.
Now, while this is a priority, Greenslade admits that the police force wasn't laxed by not putting this system in place before now. But the challenge for the 2,800-member body is meeting the demands placed on it.
You want to ensure that officers are at Fort Charlotte and at Fort Fincastle and on your main Bay Street, and you want to, look at the issue of saturation patrols, urban renewal, VIP protective duties, court duties.
Greenslade was grateful for the commitment of the men and women who serve on the force, thanking them for their bravery, regardless of the risks involved. Shanique Miller, ZNS News.
Police officers, through their association, are expressing concern over the 2 police-related shootings in the last week. The other shooting, of course, resulting in the death of a police reservist shot and killed outside Superwash's Prince Charles Drive branch. Today, executives of the Police Staff Association spoke to reporters about these and other issues officers are concerned about.
We don't want an incident like this to occur again where we use manpower. say, excuse.
Fellow police officers adamant that they will not let the weekend incidents which claimed the life of a reservist and seriously injured a constable go undetected. Executive Chairman of the Police Staff Association, Sergeant Darrell Ware, says they're conducting an investigation of their own to determine whether their colleague in the incident at the hospital was left defenseless.
We have a policy, and everything is clearly outlined in the Commissioner's policies, which every commander should adhere to. Because here, the Commissioner sent his policies out. And when he sent it down, it should be carried out. We have commanders that govern these various stations, and the policy should be a guideline, and as long as these policies are adhered to, everything will be okay. I mean, like I said, they have a view. At this point, I won't jeopardize, because investigation is personally going into the whole incident surrounding this, so I won't jeopardize. We in the association, we have some information, so we'll watch and let them do their job, and later if we need to address the matter, we'll address it again.
With the new administration and government, a number of programs are being introduced or relaunched, like the Urban Renewal 2.0, tourism policing, and school policing. But Ware admits these could pose some additional challenges.
Yes, we are stretched, and we'll be urging the government, amid all these new things coming on stream, urban renewal, school policing, definitely we'll need more police presence. We'll need more police officers. I mean, we don't make it the Bahamas a police state, but it's reality. We would need more police officers.
And despite the recent attacks unleashed on police officers, it doesn't have appeared to diminish their enthusiasm.
It got the officers more eager to really go and work. Because we see where the criminals, we are not immune to the criminal element of that, so we got to go do what we really got to do. The officers are upbeat, and we are ready for the task. You understand? We got a job to do, we are employed to do a job. And I trust you, we serve notice to the criminals out there. Don't care where you be, whether you be in Nago or in Grand, wherever in the Cumberland Bahamas, you engage in criminal activities, we will come and get you. You understand? It's an all-out war on the criminals who are causing problems in this land.
Clint Watson, ZNS News.
A second male critically injured in last week's nightclub shooting has died in hospital. Police confirmed that 16-year-old Kevin McDonald of Peter Street died last night. He was at the Borders nightclub on East Bay and Mackey Streets when someone opened fire. His death pushes the murder count to 63 for the year. Former Police Corporal Donovan Gardner's sentence has been delayed. The 39-year-old father of two was convicted of manslaughter in March of the manslaughter of suspect Desmond Key. During the proceedings today, Gardner's attorney noted that the appropriate sentence for manslaughter by negligence conviction is 5 years, but the prosecutor disagreed, noting that Gardner was convicted of manslaughter, which carries a possible life sentence. Justice Vera Watkins is expected to hand down sentence on June 29th. Meantime, a constitutional motion claiming the former police corporal did not receive a fair trial is pending. Well, still to come in the Bahamas tonight, the F&M courting new members. We'll tell you who coming up. You may be surprised. Stay tuned.